INFJs are perplexed as to why some of their colleagues, coworkers, and even family members have the audacity to sabotage them once things go smoothly for them. These folks can't be appreciative despite the INFJ's excellent and impartial intentions. So why are INFJs frequently the target of sabotage? 10. People evaluate the INFJ's value based on their accomplishments. There are immature, nasty individuals around. And certainly, INFJs can get along with persons of this nature. People frequently view them as indicators of their own value, rather than as good role models and sources of inspiration. What does this mean, then? It suggests that whatever the INFJ has accomplished or acquired, others hold them to those standards. Additionally, because the INFJ constantly raised the bar, others felt more inadequate, unqualified, incompetent, and inferior. People's urge to harm INFJs starts to manifest at this point. To deal with the INFJs more effectively, they want their momentum to deflate. To catch up, they need the INFJ base to slow down. But INFJs consistently maintain their eyes on the prize and stay unconcerned, refusing to let people diminish their worth or impede their growth. Do people's attempts to undermine you as an INFJ occasionally have an impact on you? 9. People consider them rivals. Some individuals react with contempt and disdain to the INFJ's abilities, traits, success, and pleasure. Why? Because it hurts them to watch them succeed in life. But why does it hurt them anyway? Thus it indicates that they are losing. Whoever views the INFJ as a rival instead than a friend will always fail, whether they like it or not. INFJs always put forth a lot of effort to succeed. INFJs will gladly work toward their final objective, which is to realize their aspirations and serve their mission, regardless of what other people think. And because some individuals view INFJs as rivals rather than allies, most people won't rejoice in INFJs' triumphs. Someone is covertly losing while the INFJ is winning. While the INFJ is having fun, someone other is quietly grieving. 8. People prefer to play unfair games over honest ones. Sometimes it is simpler to insult and hate one's rival than to put in more effort and do better. There is no more obvious explanation for why others tend to undermine and impede the INFJ's advancement than this. Instead of pulling themselves up to match their foundation, they believe it would be simpler and more useful to just pull them down. People enjoy getting things quickly because, if there was a shortcut, who wouldn't take advantage of it? Some people who lived side by side with an INFJ find it difficult to handle their resentment and envy over time, because they frequently rush things and simply go behind their backs. Sadly, instead of taking care of themselves in order to achieve their goals, they only aim at other people's failures. But what are the repercussions of such behavior? 7. Others only envy them. Envy is the sole motivator behind their desperate actions, bad intentions, and attempts, because some people are compelled to want what others possess. Their choice has always been to sabotage. For as long as they can, others may be envious of the INFJ's inner resources, resiliency, lifestyle, position, connections, and traits. But they are unaware that they can only make use of such advantages when they put in the effort to do so. People's jealousy shows itself as a heightened hatred of the INFJ's presence and displeasure at their success. It is also brought on by the belief that they merit recognition and admiration from the same individuals who helped the INFJ. Over time, jealousy builds up and transforms into uncontrollable hatred, persuading people to act on their evil intentions. 6. They pose a challenge to their ego and sense of worth. Due to the fact that some people's value is completely determined by their physical appearance, social connections, accomplishments, and financial belongings, their egos and self-esteem will be destroyed by anything that looks to undervalue those valued possessions. Knowing that someone else is far more clever, affluent, competent, and generally better than them is one of those perceived dangers. It most likely represents an INFJ. In order to protect their egos, people who live with and work in the same environs as INFJs find themselves continuously avoiding their company. Some people must continuously defend themselves from situations that make them feel inferior because their egos are so fragile. Are you, as an INFJ, however, aware of how your personality and traits put other people's egos at jeopardy? 5. They make them aware of their deficiencies. INFJs are frequently shunned by some individuals because they make them feel insecure and flawed. Their exceptional qualities, expertise, hard effort, and accomplishments serve as a reminder of people's limits. Some people view the world pessimistically, despite the INFJs never intending to make others feel inferior. Instead of working with knowledgeable professionals and seasoned people, some view these traits as an effort to outdo the competition. Moreover, when people's negative emotions and ideas spiral out of control, it turns into disgust and contempt for the INFJ since they serve as a constant reminder of what they lack. 4. People believe that blaming the INFJ is simpler than dealing with their fears. The fact is that some people find it difficult to acknowledge their own personal influence over their lives. As a result, they don't feel accountable for what they have or don't have or what they do or don't get. Simply said, it is simpler for them to deny their own faults and lay blame on others. It is more practical to tarnish the reputations of others than it is to build their own. Additionally, occasionally, individuals intuitively detest themselves, but the emotion is too painful for their conscious minds to process. Consequently, individuals have a tendency to transfer their anger and loathing against someone they unwittingly perceive as the perfect version of themselves. It most likely represents an INFJ. Sadly, some people grow frantic to sabotage the INFJ in order to appease their projected hatred. How can you fend off bad intentions from others? 3. They are surrounded by manipulative individuals. For all the wrong reasons, INFJs are drawn to persons who are dominating and manipulative. To cut a long tale short, this is why they frequently experience the negative effects of being in their company. Some individuals damage the INFJ's development and spoil their happiness only to have them under their command and control. These folks can't flourish in situations when a friend, lover, or coworker is psychologically more dominating than they are, because it suggests that they are no longer in command or in control of the rules. INFJs find themselves inundated with criticism, illogical comments, and demoralizing statements when they interact with these people. It's not because they are worthless, rather, they are only the objects of manipulative, oppressive people who want to have control over them. 2. People are unable to make themselves happy. Instead than going about their business, some people consistently make the INFJ's days miserable. Why? Because they neglected the fact that they are capable of making their own happiness. Instead of locating their own peace in a chaotic world, they constantly examine other people's plates to see what they are eating. As a result, they despise the INFJ to the point that they are unable to share in their happiness. These folks can only be happy when they see the INFJ struggle or failing. They lost sight of the fact that both they and the role models they admire may coexist without anyone feeling inferior. People are inclined to damage the INFJ's life as their animosity grows. But would someone be happier if their life were ruined? 1. People make fun of others to justify their own ineptitude. Sadly, those who struggle to build strong relationships or accomplish their own objectives will use others to justify their own failures. They use the flaws of other people to excuse their own lack of ability and competence. And because most individuals compare themselves to an ideal counterpart, an INFJ, they often minimize the INFJ's achievements in order to highlight their own. However, because the INFJ won't permit this, others feel compelled to make excuses on their behalf. As a result, they are tempted to do whatever it takes to ruin the INFJ's career. INFJs are surrounded by both jealous and supportive individuals. No matter who they are working with, INFJs are aware that unjust treatment and ill-intentioned schemes won't have an impact on them without their permission. How might an INFJ protect themselves from these poor attempts? What can you respond to those who attempt to undermine you?